Good day. And today we're going to discuss how to manifest love and marriage 2025 from a Kemetic Spirituality perspective using the principles of MAAT. But before we begin, this is what I need you to do. I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and ding, 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 hit that notification bell if you want to live heaven right here on earth. Because welcome to the Holy Yogi, where we help you find the spiritual guru inside of you. Hello, beautiful. Hello, handsome. How you doing today? And if no one has told you today that they love you, let me be the first. I love each and every single one of you because love makes the world go round and round and round. And truly, love is the greatest medicine of them all. And simply put, ladies and gentlemen, love always wins. And it's going to win today in this conversation as I share with you information on how to manifest love and marriage in 2025. Well, to begin, it is challenging today because unfortunately, we have been miseducated about the true meaning of love. And I'm going to break that down to you. But I want you to watch the last 4 videos that we have done in order to educate you on how to manifest love in your life using the law of attraction in 2025. Begin there and come down to here, and you fully grasp and it'll come into sequence of what I'm here to share with you today. Because in those previous days, the number one area of the first love that we establish is what? With ourselves. We are our own self-love relationship. Now, the first marriage that we establish is with who? The first love relationship and marriage is with divine God within inside of us. Yes, God comes first. That's our first marriage, is with God. And when you're of that essence of your first marriage with God, the first principles of God is what? As we understand it in accordance to MAAT. Remember, it's comprised of 42 declarations of innocence. But we're going to discuss just the first 9 that are very important in order for you to understand how if you follow the MAAT principles, then you will completely have a unification of a beautiful love relationship and eventual marriage. So number 1, it is truth. Number 2, justice. 3, righteousness. 4, order. Number 5 is balance. Reciprocity is 6. Number 7 is harmony. Number 8 is peace. And of course, number 9 is love. And when you have all of those completely combined together and you're unifying with the Most High, you will draw to you the vibrational frequency of someone that is in the same alignment as yourself. So let us break that down a little bit further. So now that we've understood the importance of balancing our relationship with God, we have to, on a consistent daily basis, unify with God in order to deal with the world that we live in. In order to do that on a daily basis, what are some of the spiritual tools that we need to have in place in order to be able to manifest that? Number 1, prayer, our conversation with God. We've got to bring it to a higher order of what we want. That we want to bring a loving relationship, a God-like relationship, into this lifetime with someone that we truly care about. And we want to draw that vibrational frequency to us. So first is prayer, our conversation with God about this very important matter at hand. Because we're looking at for what? The rest of our lives. Number 2 is meditation. Now meditation is, means healing of the mind. So that's medicine for the mind. Like we look at medicine for the body, we call it medicine. Meditation is medicine for the mind. And to keep our mind completely in balance and in harmony with the Most High, we do that via meditation. So we're doing that on a daily basis. Number 3, affirmations. We affirm the type of relationship that we want to bring into our lives, the type of man we want to bring. I am in a loving relationship with a man or woman, depending on what your choice is, man or woman, that is kind, considerate, compassionate, generous, and a giving soul. Saying that mantra over and over again for 108 times brings it into completion. The next phase, once we get through the affirmation, we want to go through the visualization. We want to visualize the type of mate that we want, that we see that through the MAAT principles, men and women were considered equal on the throne. They sat side by side. It wasn't men superior than women or women more superior than men. It was man and woman working together in a reciprocity, giving and receiving format. For example, let's say a typical daily thing. Let's say the man is a better cook, and that's what it was with my husband. He was a better cook than I was, and I was a better business person as far as money responsibility and as far as running a business. He was very much an introvert, didn't want to be on the outside. He preferred to have a job preferred to have a business. So because of that, he basically, having his job, he had a particular type of schedule. And as you know, owning a business, we are on God's time when it's feast or famine in the business. So we have to work accordingly as far as that's concerned. So I put in a whole lot more hours running the business than he did at work because the fact that he had a typical regular schedule, a typical 9 to 5 as a college professor. So what he would do after work, knowing that I was still working, before sunrise and after sunset, he would take care of the responsibility of making the meals and the like for the family. And my situation was that I would go and I would be working during that time. But to balance it out, we decided that I would come home and I would help with the dishes and things of that nature in order to clean for the day because he had his day at work too. So we really tried to work in ebb and flow, which each other had as far as trying to create the balance. And that's where all the important things that we must realize by following the MAAT principles of social order and understanding that it's based upon equality and not superiority and inferiority like modern day society. No, the man was not the head of the household as it is today in the United States of America and in most countries. The man is considered the head of the household. He's considered to be the provider, but that was never the case in ancient Kemet as far as that was concerned. Women were actually a part of the agriculture and took care of the financing at that time because they had the savvy nature in order to be able to do that. Now, men were going out and building the huts and the like. They were also taking care of, feast or famine as far as, providing for the food if they decided that they wanted to go to partake of fishing or animals and the like. But most often they were into agricultural and more of a vegetarian, vegan type of lifestyle. But they had to also be a part of protecting the family from prey and things of that nature upon them, animals, etc. So it was a consistent ebb and flow of what worked, and everybody worked together for the betterment of the whole, and they worked in complete harmony in order to be successful. Okay, like I said, everybody worked with their strengths, and also they improved and they balanced we would call it the yin and the yang. Okay, the feminine and masculine principles, and they balanced the duality that existed. Okay, understanding they coming underneath one force, one whole common goal for the betterment of the whole, for the whole entire family. So that gives you a kind of idea of how the visualization was manifesting. So by visualizing, the type of relationship that was coming in accordance with the MAAT principles, that it was of the higher order of God's principles of being responsible, respectful, and loving of each other, okay? And visualizing that they worked as a team, okay? And visualizing also that they were soul beings. Once again, that they were soul beings. And once again, there was no inferiority or superiority type of stance in that type of relationship. The other aspect of it, after visualizing, then you go through the process of journaling. the whole process of writing down the type of qualities. And when you're writing down, you see it on paper, it becomes alive. So most people have their list, okay, of the qualities that they would like to have in that type of mate. But keep in mind, those same qualities that you would like that mate to possess, let it be very clear. It's only because you can only recognize what you are that you have those same qualities too. Okay? For example, on that list, that he is kind, he's considerate, he is compassionate, that he is a provider for himself, meaning he has a job or a business that that enables him to take care of himself and also to be able to have the potential of taking care of his family. That he has great credit. And people understand, why is it all about credit? Because credit has a couple of things. In order to be able to receive credit, you have what? Have good what? Character. They call it the C's. Collateral. Things that you've saved and were responsible for in order to be able to put up, in order for the bank to be able to give you the money because you made a promise. Okay, you didn't lie, you didn't cheat, you didn't steal in order to acquire what you were able to acquire over the course of the years. That you were a man or woman of your word when that somebody or that bank gave you the money in order to have the responsibility to be able to pay it back. Now, a lot of times, the reason why people aren't able to pay back the loan because they were what? Irresponsible with the money that they had. So it basically really brings out the characteristics of the morals, ethics, and values of that individual to determine whether or not they're a person of good character, which is so much more important than how much money they have in their lives. Because people could be massively rich and massively wealthy, but have no good character or poor quality character that makes of a poor soul. And that would instantaneously contribute to the likelihood of that marriage not being able to work. You see, one of the key reasons why marriages don't work, if the money is funny, there is no honey. In a nutshell, it has got to be of a great, significant character, ability, qualities that the individual should have. Because in order to be responsible, you got to be disciplined, you got to be consistent, okay? You got to have order, balance, reciprocity, harmony, peace, and love in your work environment and building a business and being successful, as well as in your home environment. They both go hand in hand, okay? It's about what? First faith, then family, then fortune, in that order, clearly. Because it's all about those principles that would afford you the opportunity to bring all the other things into your life. So, Spirit is telling me to share with you this story. There was a couple, and they were in the house with their young little daughter, and they were really having a problem. They were bickering and they were arguing over probably the bills or, the character traits that they were not getting along. So, all of a sudden, these three wonderful priests had come to help them solve their situation to their homes. And so, one of the priest's characteristics was love, the other one was success, and the other one was fortune, prosperity, and abundance, money. So the wife wanted to invite all of them in at the same time, and they said, no, you can only choose one of us to come in to help you solve your problem as far as your marriage is concerned. So, as the Kemetic priest sat and waited outside, the wife and the husband went into the house to discuss it over and over again about which one they should bring in. And the wife, of course, wanted to bring in the priest that was about the philosophy as far as the money is concerned, the prosperity and abundance. And she said, if we bring him in, he'll solve all our problems because we'll have the money to take care of everything. And the husband said, no, I want to bring in the priest about success, because if we have the success, the money will definitely be able to follow. And the little daughter looked at the both of them and she said, you know, Mom, I want to bring in love, because if we have love in our hearts, and love is an expression of currency, which we call what? Money. It's only energy. Then we'll have enough love to bring in the money and all the success that we need in life. But of course, the parents thought, oh, what a child, in thinking such thoughts. We need to have money today. We need to have success. But they realized when they looked at their child's eyes and they saw the love pouring from their heart, they wanted to be a good example of that. They decided to be an example of love. And so what they decided to do was bring in love into the house, even though they needed the money. And they definitely needed the success in order to manifest the money. So, to indulge their daughter, they went to the door and they invited love into the house. And as love, Kemetic priest, was coming into the house, all of a sudden, success followed behind the love priest, and then the money priest followed behind the success priest into the house. And they said, how can that be? You told us we could only choose one of you. And they simply said, well, because you chose love, when you choose love, right after love, success and money follows. And it's really that simple, ladies and gentlemen. By letting love be at the core essence of your relationship, the success and money will follow. Now, that has to be established already before. Remember, you got to be of the high vibrational frequency and essence of it before you two even come together. So as you are a part of that and you're manifesting that into your life, which is the final key factor, after the journaling, etc., after you put it into action and then you go out and do the work, you will draw to yourself the manifestation of the marriage in 2025 using the Kemetic spiritual principles of MAAT. So let me show you how it played out in my own personal life based upon the story I just now shared with you. In a nutshell, I met my husband at college. I got a job working for him. He was the professor of the local community college. And I had just graduated from college, gung-ho and ready to go out there and save the world and educate people as far as cooperative work in economics on how to develop a job if they prefer to do so, or a business once they graduated from college. So I applied for a job and I worked for him. And in doing so, I went through the whole process of, living my life, building up, because my first objective was to be able to purchase and to buy a home. Well, very challenging to be able to do that after your first year of graduating from college. But luckily, I had my mother who, by the grace of spirit, was able to pay off my student loans so I could focus on building up my coffers as far as that's concerned. So I am just hustling, and we're going out, and completely friends at the time. We're going out, and in the meantime, I had my list of what I wanted into my life as far as a mate. He had his list of what he wanted, and we were separately dating other people. My husband was 24 years older than myself, of a total different mindset, etc. But we were staying on the same accord of wanting to prosper. We were both a part of the same church. We were going to Rose Community Church, an African-centered church. And we were on the same accord as far as really, and he was a part of the spiritual ministry of the church. So, and so we were not only, well, he was my boss that I worked with at the community college, but in addition to that, we were going to the same church. So we had common understanding as far as spirituality was concerned, as well as we had a common understanding about success. He was a college professor, higher degree. I was on my way to getting a higher degree as a naturopathic doctor, etc. So educationally wise, we had a commonality as far as that, as far as higher education goals and dreams. In addition to that, career-wise, he was a college professor and loved teaching people about how to become the very best self that they could possibly be in the business world. And he also had his master's degree in business. So we had so many commonalities, but included with that, we all were on a different level as far as, like I said, he was dating other people and I was dating other people. Well, lo and behold, those relationships didn't work out because they didn't go in accordance to my list or his list, okay? And then later on in life, we came together and balancing that we had something very much in common as far as wanting to uplift and empower the African American community, specifically to become more healthy, wealthy, and wise, and generally to bring greater health and wisdom and prosperity and abundance to the whole entire world, okay? But first, it begins at home. Charity begins at home. We got to take care of the wholesome community of the African American community before we can go out and share it with the world to bring everybody complete balance and harmony. So we were on the same goals and aspirations as far as that is concerned. And so by complete divine intervention, divine appointment, making that divine connection, we came together in a loving, happy situation. And I asked him to marry me because I realized God had given me the vision and he matched everything on my wonderful list and was so kind, so considerate. And I give you one example which really impressed me to ask him to marry me. I had come down with a major health challenge. And this is in the process of me becoming a naturopathic doctor. And I think I just food poisoning, the best way I can describe it. Raw food, things of that nature, just was, just totally not feeling well. Everything coming out from one end to the other, for lack of a better term. And I was just feeling absolutely horrendous. I was feeling horrendous. I look horrendous. And he had come by to check on me to see how I was doing, which was so thoughtful of him. But he also had an appointment to go and be a part of the Rites of Passage program for boys to help them transition into adulthood with the church. And I was feeling so bad that he canceled that meeting to help me get well. And he got me my herbs and my drinks and things of that nature. And I was in my worst state in the world. And I said, if a man could accept me at being at my lowest, can you imagine if he could accept me being at my highest? So at that time I said, would you marry me? When I was feeling worse. And he said, sure, okay. That's how simple and beautiful that it was. And so that is an example of how you can manifest love into your life, that you follow all the spiritual principles. But the first marriage, the first love relationship you need to have is with yourself. The first marriage relationship you need to have is with God. So when God shows up in man, you'll be able to recognize it because he was responsible, he was respectful, he had his whole career and things of that nature. Now, he had issues with credit, but that's okay. He had the core foundation because when we got together, I helped him get his credit together. And in addition to that, we were able to, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be on purpose, okay? We have to work through not everything. On that list is not going to be 100%. If it's about 70, you're doing good. If it's about 80, you're doing even better. But you want to have the core foundation, the correct characteristics. He had morals, values, and ethics. He was always on time, always meticulously dressed when he came to church. Always, he was the logistic guy, always on time, took care of other people. I saw him do kind things at American River College, and many of the students. He would buy many of the products that the student would have because they needed money to pay for their tuition and things of that nature. He had a generous, compassionate, giving heart. So I saw so many. He was merciful. He was graceful. He just, very a beautiful spirit in man's flesh, and just really living life to the best abilities. And I saw all those characteristics and saw God simply right here on earth. And so that gives you an example of how you can manifest love and marriage in 2025. But first, you got to be it, to believe it, and to achieve it in order to manifest it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I want you to primarily focus on. Now, did it happen overnight? No. We were friends for 365 days for a year, okay? And in addition, I'm telling him my dreams and aspirations and things of that nature. And I'll share this with you before I let you go. One of the key things that was really beautiful is I remember my goal was that I wanted to, I'm going to tell you about the house that I wanted to get. So as I'm driving up into his driveway with his house and realizing that, we were, married, and as I'm pulling up and I'm saying to myself, oh, I didn't accomplish my dream of my home. And then it dawned on me as I'm pulling into the driveway, wait a minute, we're married, we're in California. I did accomplish my dream. I have a home with my new husband. You see, and that's what's so beautiful about it. We always go through God's plan. My goal was to buy my home on my own and things of that nature and et cetera. And I was going through that path in order to be able to accomplish that objective. But God had a better plan and decided that I could have my cake and eat it too. I could have the home as well as the wonderful mate to enjoy it with and build a home to produce beautiful children, offspring, to make this world a better place that it was destined to be. So I hope you appreciate this video, and what I want you to do in order to complement what I just now shared with you, I want you to watch this video over here where it shows you how to manifest love relationship. And it's not what you think, but you must watch it to truly get it. So with that in mind, I'll see you in the next video, where we're going to continue this wonderful experience of this free full course on how to manifest love in your life in 2025 using the law of attraction. But you got to take what? Action. Neteru, peace, namaste. Have a fantastic, glorious day. Bye-bye for now.